Make money, make muscles, learn game. If you're listening to me, you're a hot dude. The hot dude life is not about your physical appearance. The hot dude life is a mentality. The Hot Dude Army is a global network, and the Hot Dude Army is everywhere. Decrease your judgment of others and increase the judgment of yourself. So you belong to the streets, huh?
100%.
It starts with learning dating, and then you move on to something to push humanity forward. That is the philosophy of modern life dating.
This is a textbook example of really good game.
Boom, baby, we are live. Welcome to Interview with a Man, episode number 565. Death, the ultimate red pill. It's coming for you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Your name is already written in the book. When you're gonna die, how you're gonna die, who you're gonna be when you die. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. The Shinigami looking over you is coming to take your soul into eternal black nothingness. Are you ready to accept this? Have you accepted this? I'm willing to bet that you haven't. Because a lot of people, they're afraid. They live in fear. They live in denial. They live in delusion. It's their drug of choice. But not me. That's why I'm here and you're there. Don't shoot the messenger unless that's the way I'm supposed to die. Not a bad way. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. What a positive way to start your day. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to Interview with a Man, the best show in the world. #1 men's self-improvement channel on the planet. Today's just going to be more of a reflection episode and talking about a couple different things we've got going on here. Got a couple announcements to make real quick. Looks like, I'm not saying it's absolutely going to happen. However, it looks like one of my clips is taking off to be relatively viral. Let's take a look at that real quick before we start today's episode. Here's my channel. If you take a look at this, it says, "Straight man, watch this." If you're a man and you're straight and you're...
Most men can't say that, huh?
Oh, no.
If you're a man and you're straight and you're in America, Canada, Australia, UK, nobody gives a fuck about you. If nobody gives a fuck about you, nobody's coming to save you. And if nobody's coming to save you, guess who has to do the work to save you? If you're a man and you're straight and you're in America, Canada, Australia, UK, nobody gives a fuck about you. If nobody gives a fuck about you, nobody's coming to save you. And if nobody's coming to save you, guess who has to do the work to save you? If you're a man and you're...
I hope you're awake. I hope you're ready and willing. What's funny is that a clip was uploaded about 9 hours ago on YouTube, and it has 83,000 views already. Okay? So let me show you how internet censorship works. They clearly have some kind of algorithm set up to stifle me and to stifle you based upon your content through the video algorithm, because that same exact reel, it's here on my Instagram interview with a man, right? Only has 805 views. So literally 100x over here. But here, only 805. Makes you wonder, right? Look how good my clip guy is, man. You remember this Brandon Carter episode we did last week? He already did this. You can have results or excuses, but you can't have both. You can have results over here because you're a fucking man, and that's what the world demands of you. You can't spell demand without man. If you don't give the world the results that they demand from you, you are not living up to your full fucking potential. And the only person standing in your way is you. The internet and effort is the great equalizer. You see this? You can have results. So be sure to follow me on Instagram. Just type in interview with a man. 2 W's, obviously, because the interview ends in a W, and then with starts with a W. So go ahead and do that for me. And then we'll be rolling, baby. Glad to be back. Glad to have you folks here. Yesterday, did you guys like yesterday's episode? I would give yesterday's episode a big. That was a good one for me. I personally think that was a big W for me. So life's good, and I just wanted to build upon yesterday's episode, right? Because yesterday there's a lot to take in from yesterday's episode, right? But more importantly, I think that we just really need to start really living up to the name of this community people claim to be, the red pill community. And what is the red pill community, right? It's truth. Okay? And a lot of things in the world, right now are doing their best to lie and lie and lie to us, right? And I'm optimistic. I think now more than ever people are looking for truth, and I think now more than ever people are finding it. And there's becoming more and more of people like me, truth tellers, truth speakers, people who are out here like just legitimately dedicated to telling the truth, right? And that's what I want to do. That's what I'm all about. And, has its ups, has its downs, but the truth is always the truth, and there's nothing you can do about it, right? You can't really do anything to refute it. You can't do anything to beat it. You know, like you can't stop people's thirst for it. I mean, there are more and more cracks. I'm gonna use the Matrix as a lot of references today. There are more and more cracks now than ever. And the thing is this, right? I'm trying to because I'm gonna show you guys something, so I gotta be careful the way I write it, the way I say it. So the thing is this, right? You have to be careful with what you say these days, because we're at that last stage of humanity where the old way of things is still kind of in control, right? And so okay, here it is. The way you handle with truth is either you censor it or you you get rid of people who speak it, right? And you know, somebody in the chat saying I'm a black pillar. I'm certainly not, bro. Is MLT a Christian again? You guys think I'm coming to? Is it the Jesus piece? Listen, bro, this is 1,000% fashion. Okay, we're gonna talk about. Listen, we're talking about death today. Okay. But when people can't control the truth, they try to censor it. They try to lie. They try to manipulate. But the thing is, you have too many eyes. The internet has connected us too well. You know what I mean? We are so hyper connected nowadays. It's unbelievable. It's truly unbelievable how well connected we are. We're finding out news at the fastest rate ever. Cryptocurrency. Take a look at cryptocurrency. I love how everybody's already given up on crypto, and Bitcoin took a more than a 10% jump the other day. Nobody's like, oh, whatever. You can make a quick 10% gain in a matter of 2 to 3 days, and then nobody cares, right? Blows my mind. It really blows my mind. But the thing is, I think that I've been saying it for a while on this channel, and I think that people really need to just kind of get ready for it. It's pretty dark, but I do believe that there is a lot of there's a large wave of death coming for a lot of people. Okay. Obesity, all-time high, okay? And for some reason, a lot of people are magically dying out of wild causes that started in 2020, 2021. Namely, I can't say it. Can't tell the truth on YouTube because it's going to happen. But what I can do is show you a clip. You want to see the clip? I'm just going to play the clip. And you be the judge. I'm not going to say anything. We're just going to play 2 clips. And be advised, what you're going to see is not for the squeamish. Okay? We're just going to watch. We're just going to watch and be good Christians and good little normie conformies, okay?
Mysterious fibrous clots are showing up inside people who have recently died. Some embalmers say the clots are found in most corpses these days, and they've never seen anything like it before. And a warning that some viewers may find the images in this report disturbing.
Several embalmers across the country told the Epic Times they've been observing strange fibrous clots in corpses they work with. They report the phenomenon started either in 2020 or 2021. They say the clot
2020 or 2021. Goddamn right-wing conspiracy theorists.
stand out because they're exceptionally big, at a maximum as long as a human leg, and as thick as a pinky finger. The embalmers also say that clots in corpses have become much more common. One embalmer said he finds them in 50 to 70% of all corpses he works with these days, up from 5 to 10% prior to the pandemic.
So wait a minute. Before the pandemic, it was 5 to 10%. Yikes, first of all. After the pandemic, 50 to 70% of these corpses all have this stuff.
It's not yet known if the new clots are caused by COVID-19, the vaccines, or something different. However, many
Definitely something different.
of the embalmers say from what they've found, it seems like the clots are connected to the vaccine.
I doubt that. This lady's not a scientist. She is spreading hate. She is a racist, sexist, bigot. She is transphobic. She is homophobic. She is a Trump supporter. And I cannot believe she wouldn't have the audacity to say these kind of hateful things filled with such bigotry. Unbelievable.
Some doctors speculate that the spike protein used in the vaccines can cause string-like structures which the body doesn't break down.
Those are probably white, straight, male doctors who are so blind in their cisgendered nonsense. They're just here to oppress women.
Shut up and take my money.
They're here to oppress minorities. They're here to oppress trans children. You know, they're just bad, evil people.
The clots found are lacking iron, potassium, magnesium, and zinc, which according to experts shows that these aren't just normal postmortem clots. Because
I mean, this looks normal. This is like healthy, right? This looks like those beans they serve you at the Korean restaurants before they give you the main entree. I mean, this is healthy. This is edible, right? This seems like healthy. I don't think this lady knows what she's talking about.
normal human blood always has those nutrients.
And earlier today, I spoke with one such embalmer, Richard Hirschman from Alabama. He tells
he's from Alabama, so he's definitely voted for Trump. Can't trust him.
us more about discovering these clots and what compelled him to speak out. Richard Hirschman, welcome to our show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Stefani. I'm glad to be here.
Now, tell me, why did you choose to share your findings?
Well, I decided to share my findings because I felt like humanity may be at stake. There's definitely something that has changed that I have noticed in the blood since the middle of last year, maybe around May or June of 2021. And it's been eating at me, and therefore I have to come out and speak to say, hey, something's wrong. Most doctors aren't going to see what I see, and I have to get it out there because I feel like humanity.
Well. What's all this then, eh? If I could only put my thumb on it. Shout out to Sir Mr. Jason, $2 super chat. Says, MLD brother, you're the truth. Appreciate you. Okay. Well, I mean, I wish there was video evidence of this. You know what I mean? But there's just really, there's no real, I don't find them to be any real evidence. Do you? I mean, well, I did see one thing. I mean, it's kind of like relatively potentially true. I don't know. But, it's just kind of, let's just see what happens. Huh? Oh, no, this video.
Hi, this is
Okay, sorry. They had to click this video may be inappropriate for some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. Let's take a look. Do. All right, so keep an eye out. This is just so you know, viewer discretion is highly advised here. That man in the previous video, this is a video he recorded. And here we go.
This is the iliac artery. And this clot coming out of the iliac. Normally we don't see clots in the iliac, in an artery. Usually they're in veins.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm probably not going to be able to get it all. This is not normal. Look at the size of this one. The big one came out of the vein. The small one came out of the iliac artery itself.
According to Richard, he observed more than 60% of his clients.
So, there's that. I mean, there's that. That's all I gotta say, really. All right. So, yeah. What would I do if I was a massive totalitarian, psychotic dictator? Well, let's take a look. So you are here. Okay. You are the elite. And this represents plebs. Okay? And guess what? If you're watching this, you're a pleb. I'm a pleb. We're all plebs. We're all in part of this little party right here. And really, guess who does their best to control the plebs? The elites. How do they do that? Well, first arm is media. Okay. Second arm is governments. Third arm is banks. You ever listen to the song by a band called The Verve, Bittersweet Symphony? There's a lyric in that song, and it says, "It's a bittersweet symphony that's life. You're a slave to money, then you die." Right? Pretty wild. And so I see somebody is delusional in the chat. Chris, best of luck to you, buddy. Best of luck to you. You don't just get spike proteins out of your system, pal. Okay? Media, government, banks. That's how you control the plebs, right? But one very small problem. Plebs love to have sex and families. And the pleb population right now is 7 billion. Very, very, very hard to control 7 billion people. But what if your attempts to control them are failing and failing and failing, and the people were getting out of control? Well, you could starve them out, right? But then guess what? They're going to riot. The Dutch farmers are pushing back, right? The last thing they want are the Americans banding together and pushing back, because the Americans are powered by Smith & Wesson. If you don't know what Smith & Wesson is, they're also powered by Glock. Okay. They're powered by Colt 45. You know. We're probably the strongest militia on the planet. Okay. Hello, it'll take some time to populate. That's just a normal YouTube error. But here's the problem. Media has given birth to social media. Now, social media is still controlled by the elites, but it can't be as controlled, right? Governments are basically small and dumb. Governments, the age of governments being good and proficient is over. Okay? Governments are now extremely incompetent. Banks, guess what? We figured it out how to do it on our own, pals. Banks, guess what's happening? Let me ask you a quick question out there. If all of a sudden you were locked out of your bank account and you found out that me, MLD, I was the one who locked you out of your bank account and I was not going to let you back into the bank account for 30 days, would you love me or would you hate me? Put a 1 in the chat if you would love me. Put a 2 in the chat if you would hate me. Let's just see what you guys got to say. I'm looking forward to your votes. 1 if you'd love me. 2 if you would absolutely hate me. Right? J20 says he would hate me. Fo Ipo Forum 2. Jason 2. Thailand 2. 2 with the gun. Love you but gotta eat 2. 2. Evans Club O. Ryan C 2. Jules 14 Spino 2. Carl Neal Lex 2, right?
So, you have accepted the truth.
Thank you to Mussolini 7 for just subscribing to my channel. Fantastic. Thank you so much. You see where I'm going with this? The Narcissist Podcast. All right. Solid name. So the banks are doing that to people now more than ever. What's the alternative? Crypto. Okay. And guess what? Crypto banks, people already hate them. People hate Coinbase. People hate but Gemini locking us out, right? Crypto banks are also on the down, right? Guess what's on the up and up? DeFi, decentralized finance. Everybody hates the government. Everybody hates the people in charge of social media. The number one most disliked video on social media is the YouTube replay video. Everything is not sustainable for the elites. Right? So, that being said, how do you stop the sex and families? Well, the sex could be okay as long as we stop the families. So, there's promotion of birth control, right? There's promotion of the alphabet because we all need to learn our ABCs, right? And the alphabet is better than the alternative to the alphabet because the alphabet is usually just one. It's one person. They never can make more than one. Just the alphabet. They're the switcheroos, right? The switchers, which they want to go from 1 to 2 or 2 to 1. No family necessary here, right? Birth control makes women crazy, causes a bunch of problems, right? Is it starting to make sense yet? A lot of this stream is going to go over the average person's head, but again, recently, I just don't feel like talking to the average person. I really just don't. Sí, señor. Es la verdad. Sí, señor. Okay. But maybe this isn't fast enough. What if there was a way to get the entire planet to somewhat voluntarily sterilize themselves with their theoretical consent? I mean, just theoretically, right? I mean, that's what I would do. You may say I'm crazy, but every day, I'm looking more and more sane, huh? I'm just, like Joker said in The Dark Knight, I'm just ahead of the curve, right? So, I do think that damage is already done. And I think that we just got to sit back and watch. I agree with you, Presentation 10. This old boat says the government has an internet kill switch since the first Obama term. Crypto does you no good when you can't access it. Let me tell you something. If the internet is out, people are going to have a lot larger problems on their hands other than not being access to crypto, namely the United States government. Okay? So, I wanted to just talk about self-improvement. By the way, smash the like button. I want to just talk to you guys about this. Okay? The real red pill. Okay. The real red pill, which is death. You guys, a lot of you gentlemen, a lot of you people in general, women, men, you guys just don't seem to get that you're going to die. Like, some of you guys really don't think that's going to happen. And it is. I'll tell you something that happens when you get everything that you want, right? I'm a man. This message here is mainly for men. What do men usually want, right? Men want money in large amounts. And then I'm not saying millions and millions and millions, but enough to cover your life expenses, give you that peace of mind, and kind of give you that, I don't have to worry about anything right now, right? That's typically what men want. And the second thing they want is pussy. Abundance of pussy, knowing that I can get it, I can keep it, and if it does go away, I can replace it, right? Well, as a man who has achieved both of those things in great multitudes, allow me to give you a spoiler alert, right? When you achieve those things, you don't have to go to work. You don't have to go and jerk off to porn. You don't have to watch YouTube videos on how to get girls, right? When you get to the point that getting girls is so easy that it's boring, okay? When all of that happens, a wild thing does happen. And you begin to realize that no matter what, your inevitable doom just becomes so palpable to you. And it really sinks in. I get hardcore existential crises when I watch space movies and when I ride airplanes. And sometimes I just recently watched Moonfall. Great movie, by the way. I love that movie. I watched Moonfall on the way to Saudi Arabia. And boy, oh boy, did that send me into quite the existential crisis. Right? Because we got to think about the big picture, right? Let's really do a deep dive here. Say you do live forever, right? So you live forever. Back to today's show, but I want to let you know. Sorry, I don't know what happened. I pressed the wrong button. Say you do live forever, right? So now here we are. Now you're living forever. Well, guess what? Eventually, the resources on Earth are going to run out, and we're all going to die. We're going to run out of a place to live. Okay? And then, right? What do we do next? We can get in a spaceship. And then we just go. someplace. Where are we going? Boldly, where no man has gone before. What the fuck do we go? Do we find other life? Do we somehow find another planet with water on it? Do we travel to the edge of this galaxy? Do we travel to the edge of this universe? Right? What really lies there? So you kind of get in this paradox of existence. But you do have to realize that the walls of your existence are slowly closing in on you. This doesn't really start to hit you until, like, I would say your late 20s, right? And you know, as you get older, it does get heavier. This is why you see a lot of people kind of become more religious later in life, right? This is why the majority of people who are involved in religion in the planet are women. I used to have a friend, Tim. He's still with us, but he's out there. You know, he was like one of the most alpha male dudes I ever met in my life. His name was Tim Long. And, you know, he had done a couple tours overseas, and he told me, you know, religion's for weak people. It's for people who can't handle the fact that we don't know what happens after we die, and most likely it's nothing. The good thing about death is just you go to sleep, you don't wake up, so you don't feel anything. You can't really perceive the fact that you're dead. However, it is terrifying to know that you're just going to shut off and everything you know is going to come to a screeching halt permanently, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's going to happen to your mom. It's going to happen to your dad. It's going to happen to your dog. It's going to happen to your cat. It's going to happen to you. It's going to happen to everybody you love, your children. No matter what, you can't escape it. And I think a lot of people try to escape that uncomfortable reality. I think a lot of people try to run from it. But what can you do, right? And the thing is, this should motivate you. And you should stare this in the face. You should look it boldly in its eyes. And realize that literally nothing you do matters at all, negative or positive. So you might as well take a ton of action in the direction of the life of your dreams. You also need to be smart. You need to take care of yourself. You need to take care of your body. You need to be careful what you put into your body, through your mouth, through your nose, through drugs, whatever your poison is. You got to take care of it, because you can't just fix everything. When you're younger, you can bounce back and stuff like that. When you start to get older, man, you can't fix everything. Can't do it all. Right? So, I just ask you guys, like, have you really sat down and thought this through? Okay. Have you sat down? Have you danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? Have you had a near-death experience? You know, I talk often about the medical procedures I had done. I had under my eyes done. They liposuction fat out of my thigh and put them in me. Look at this. My beautiful dark circles are gone. Sayonara, motherfucker. You got money, you can do a lot of things. You can buy the ugly away. I did liposuction. They had to do a surgery to remove my wisdom tooth that was ruined by that other psychotic Japanese doctor. And every time I'm laying on that emergency room table, you know, in that operating room, it's cold. You just see those 3 lights above you. They inject you with the anesthesia. It's this milky like substance. And you just watch the anesthesia come down the tube. And as it comes down the tube, it goes slowly, slowly, slowly into your body. And then it feels a little cold because it's liquid. That's room temperature most likely, or chilled a little bit. And then you get a warm, kind of fuzzy sensation. And you ask the doctor, what's going to happen? And boom, lights out. You don't even see it coming. You wake up confused, covered in blood or in pain in another room. You skip time. That's death. That's death simulation. Okay? And then, in addition to that, a lot of people, it's funny when you start to think about death and you start to reflect on it, a lot of people, what do? Grab their phone, start looking for answers. Is God real? What happens when we die? Is Jesus real? If you're in the Middle East. Is Allah real? If you're in India. Is reincarnation real? If you're in Japan. Is Pokemon Heaven real? Right? You know, there's just there's endless cope out there. But it's the end of the line, boys. Ladies too. Shout out to my ladies in the chat. So I just ask you, what's more terrifying than death? It's literally the most terrifying thing, right? When you have these near-death experiences or near-death moments in life, what do? You quickly want to call somebody you love. Hey, Mom, I just want to tell you I love you, appreciate you so much, right? You're seeking love. You're seeking, adoration. You're seeking comfort in the form of chemicals in your head, right?
Shut up and take my money.
Thank you. Anonymous is now. It says anonymous here, but it says Minister Jap. Shout out to you, Minister Jap. Thank you so much, brother. Mr. Jap is in the house. He says, thank you, brother. He gave me a $20 super chat. I loved this guy. I met this guy in Miami. Great guy. $20 super chat. What's good, family? Keep winning on these losers. Appreciate you, my G. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you popping in. Go check him out, guys. He got a great message. He was dropping some serious heat on Fresh and Fit. Right. By the way, smash the like button. We're at 88 likes. We're like floating around 170 live viewers right now. Go ahead and smash the like and share this video everywhere. But you see, it's kind of like, and bear with me when I say this, right? And I'll lead the charge when I'm saying, like, that, like, when I have like these death scares, you know what really sends me into like a fucking super death scare? When I smoke some bomb ass weed. When I smoke some super good weed, I'm like, oh fuck, I'm gonna die. Because, like, weed usually takes you to the end point of every thought you have, right? And like processes it all the way to the end. And when this happens, like, I typically want to get comfort. That's what I seek. But it's a delusion. The comfort isn't real. You could read books and, like, how's there's Jesus, and I got hit in the head and I was in a coma and I saw Jesus and he told me he was coming. And Jesus was white. Oh, great. Got it. You know, I just think that a lot of people don't seem to really grasp that there is a finality to everything. Like, you can get your dreams.
So, you have accepted the truth.
Thanks for subscribing. You can achieve your dreams, right? And you can go for everything you want. But my question is, how long are you going to wait? Because a lot of you guys, and this is, now we're going to get real dark, right? A lot of you guys think that you're just going to live into your old age, and that's just not the case. You know? I mean, statistically speaking, it's just not the case. You know, your boy here could go. Chris is in the chat. He says, everything is matter. It's all an illusion, baby. Enjoy the ride in these rent-a-car flesh sacks. Yeah, exactly. You know, but it's quite the conundrum, eh? It's rather perplexing. It's rather perplexing. But that's the riddle of life. So my thing is this, right? Why wouldn't you use the ultimate red pill to go after the life that you want? Max out money, max out muscles, max out game, max out frame. You got to live, right? You got to live to your fullest. There's another video I want to share that I found recently. Pretty interesting video. And the guy, he makes a couple good points. He does use the Matrix as like a metaphor. And I'll show you this. Let's take a look here.
Shut up and take my money.
All right, got a dono. Appreciate you. Okay, here we go. So this is a video by a guy down there in Colombia. Colombia. Do you know Colombian people are the biggest cheaters in South America? The infidelity rate is like 60-something+%. Yikes, megikes, mate. No thank you. Shout out to Kal-El, son of Jor-El, the last son of Krypton. $13.99 Canadian. Says Top G MLD. Congrats on 40K, brother. Appreciate you on that one. Look at that dono. Thank you. Presentation 10, he says, doesn't make sense to be scared of death unless ignorant. You literally go home. Life is for a very short time. For most people, the height of whatever is just smashing. Yeah, I do love smashing, I gotta say. I don't know if it's my height, but definitely in the top 10. Definitely top 5. Hell, top 3. Top 2. But I just implore you guys to use this knowledge and think about it. Take a look at this video. This video is really what sparked me thinking about. I mean, I always like talk about death and freak out about it often, quite frankly. But take a look at that. Elijah MMA fighter just died at 34. Who? Elijah who? Anyways, let's take a look. Take a look here. This is a good video.
The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room.
You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work,
when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
What truth? that you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind.
In the film The Matrix, humanity believes itself to exist within a real world, but it actually exists within a simulated reality, otherwise referred to as the Matrix, which was designed by intelligent, self-aware machines to keep mankind asleep while it uses their bodies for energy. Now, The Matrix is a fictional movie, but after spending the greater part of the last decade deeply exploring its numerous themes and philosophical inspirations, I would actually argue that it's a more accurate representation of reality than the reality that we perceive. Because we live during a time where virtually everything that we perceive as real is merely an imitation of the real. And in this video, I'll show you step by step how we're not only already living in a simulation, but more importantly, I'll show you what we can do about it. So let's begin. Reality as we know it is an anti-nature simulation.
This isn't real. What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain.
So when explaining this concept to others, I found that the easiest way is to start by understanding the following. Nature is the true reality. Everything that is not nature, i.e. Everything created by man, is essentially two things. First, everything created by man increasingly exists as a more believable simulation of the real thing that it's replacing. Processed food is an increasingly believable simulation of real food. Pornography is an increasingly believable simulation of real sexual intimacy. Video games are an increasingly believable simulation of real games. Digital social networks are an increasingly believable simulation of real social networks, where the real people that we think we're observing and interacting with are merely the projected residual self-image of those people. We see only what they want to show us, which tends to be stuff that confirms who they believe or desire themselves to be. Even the universe itself is now being simulated in the form of a metaverse.
Your appearance now is what we call residual self-image. It is the mental projection of your digital self.
Second, everything created by man moves us further away from nature, further away from reality. Technology moves us further away from nature. I think this is pretty obvious, but what's less obvious is how removed we are from nature, even when we believe ourselves to be in nature. When we're outside, our physical bodies are usually at least 3 layers removed from the actual ground, right? Those 3 layers being the pavement, our shoes, and then our socks. And when are we even really outside? Usually for brief moments as we move from one inside to another. To schools, where we learn about everything except how to know ourselves. To work, where we generally have to do something we don't want to do to be able to buy things we don't need to impress people we don't care about. To gyms, where we simulate running on human hamster wheels to burn off calories from foods we shouldn't have eaten to pursue the appearance of health, which is, of course, much more important than actual health itself. Or to where we live, which in my case is a moderately sized box 30 floors above the ground, still not quite high enough to escape the pollution and noise below, and where what little light that does enter does so through polarized glass. Nature is real, and everything else is a simulation. And as time goes on, reality as we know it is increasingly removed from nature and increasingly constituted by everything else. The simulation helps us to escape death. All
This is the big one right here.
creatures are destined to die. However, human beings, being the only creature capable of seeing into the future, are subsequently the only creature capable of contemplating the inevitable death that awaits them. Ernest Becker, an American cultural anthropologist and author of The Denial of Death, which is one of my top 5 favorite books ever, believed that if we were to truly grasp the significance of the inevitability of death, that we'd be paralyzed by anxiety. And so to lessen our fear of death, he posits that we try to overcome it by denying in some way that it is the final destiny of man. The true reality, which I'll simply refer to as nature, is where this awareness of death resides, because it's in nature where man must accept that he is a small, trembling animal who will decay and die. In the modern age, the primary way through which we're able to deny death is by moving further away from nature and by moving further into the simulation. Let me try to explain all of this in a way that most of you will be able to relate to. You know that uncomfortable feelings we sometimes feel when it's nighttime or when we're all alone? Now, in a broad sense, we probably experience this feeling as generalized anxiety. And as soon as we feel it, we probably reach for our phone or look for some other way to distract ourselves from it. However, if we allow this feeling to go beyond that anxiety layer, we may begin to experience this feeling as the uncomfortable sensation that maybe we're behind in life, or perhaps that we're wasting our life altogether. So at this point, we'll almost certainly reach out for our phone or find some way to distract ourselves. But what would happen if we did the opposite? If instead of running from this feeling, we actually welcomed it into our consciousness with a warm smile and a glass of milk? What we'd come to realize is that this feeling, at its absolute root, is that which we most wish to deny, the knowledge that we are destined to die. The simulation.
It's all escapism. We're trying to escape. You know, just go watch a Rollo video after this. Gotta watch a Fresh and Fit video. Go to the Clips channel. Now we got to check TikTok. Now we got to check Tinder. Now we got to check Hinge. Now we got to check Bumble. Now we got to get on Seeking. Now we got to go have sex. You know. Now we got to smoke some weed. Now we got to drink some alcohol, eat some pizza, you know, go smoke hookah, play video games, whatever we can do to try to escape from the damning inevitability of the eternal blackness that will consume us all.
Understands this, and so while many of us see these various manifestations of the simulation, social media, Netflix, video games, as means by which we can improve life and make it more enjoyable, they're also a means by which we can escape the reality of death.
It is, of course, a way of all things. You see, there is only one constant, one universal. It is the only real truth. Causality. Action, reaction, cause and effect.
Everything begins with choice.
No, wrong. Choice is an illusion created between those with power and those without. And this is the nature of the universe.
So, who controls the simulation?
This is good. I'm just going to let this part play.
At a low level, it's the media, which generally exists to both reinforce and perpetuate both existing and evolving paradigms of the simulation. At mid-level, it's the government, which establishes and reinforces the explicit rules of the simulation. At a high level, it's companies and corporations who create everything that is not nature, i.e. the material substance of the simulation. And then at the highest level, it's an increasingly smaller group of individuals who exercise increasingly greater control over corporations, governments, and media. Within the simulation, control is power, and to acquire more power at the highest levels is to perpetuate the simulation to the extent that for normal humans who don't have power, choice becomes an illusion because their future is already being decided for them.
The Matrix is a system, Neo. That system is our enemy. But when you're inside, you look around, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters, the very minds of the people we are trying to save. But until we do, these people are still a part of that system, and that makes them our enemy. You have to understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged. And many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on the system, that they will fight to protect it.
The simulation is a complex system of control. So to put it simply, the simulation is the world that has been pulled over our eyes to blind us from the truth that we are its slaves. We agree to participate in and obey the simulation, and in return, we are granted the means by which we can either mitigate or fully retreat, fully escape from the horrifying reality of nature itself and the inevitability of death that waits us there. This is how people come to fervently support a particular political candidate without being able to name a single one of their policies, or how they can come to label someone as ignorant or dangerous without ever having authentically engaged with that person's ideas. Nietzsche referred to this as herd mentality, which he defined as the tendency for people's behavior or beliefs to conform to those of the group to which they belong. The simulation is what creates these groups, and broadly speaking, this is how so many of us can come to feel tremendous confidence and authority in relation to something that we know absolutely nothing about. All right, guys, so
that's that. Right? So I just wanted to talk about that and kind of just give you guys a little bit of a eye-opener. You know what I mean? Because it is inevitable, right? It's like Thanos. It is inevitable. And no matter what you do or say, it always comes back to death.
You could not live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me.
It always brings you back to him. You can try to rationalize it. You can try to pray it away. You can try to eat it away, fuck it away, sniff it away, smoke it away, drink it away, inject it away, whatever the case may be. But your death is coming sooner than you think, too. You'd be lucky to make it to old age, right? A big part of it, living long, is luck and genetics, right? So, that being said, what are you going to do with your finite life? Doesn't matter if you're a man. Doesn't matter if you're a woman. I don't give a shit. What are you going to do with your life? Okay? People try to have answers.
Shut up and take my money.
People try to have answers. People try to have discussions, theories, whatever. But the case, whatever, at the end of the day, you're not a scientist. You don't really know. Nobody knows. And if they did know, why didn't they come back and tell any of us? Okay. Go to a graveyard today. And just have a seat. Or go walk around. Look around. And think about how much you don't give a shit about those people. You ever do the graveyard walk? I do it once in a while. No, that's where you're going to end up. And just like you walk through that graveyard, and you don't give a shit about anybody there, you don't give a fuck if this guy got liposuction. I'll use myself as an example. You don't give this guy and fucked a bunch of chicks. You don't care if this guy lived in Tokyo. You don't care if this guy went to Istanbul for a hair transplant. You don't care if he had 2 girlfriends, 3 girlfriends. You don't care if he ate pizza sometimes. You don't care. And just the way that you don't care, 99% of all the people you interact with, they don't care either. So why are you living in the prison of other people's opinion? Why are you living the life you hate instead of the life you want to live? The only logical thing to do in this life is try to extend your life as long as possible and to live life as fully on your terms as possible as well. That's it. So, how long are you going to be a coward? How long are you going to sit there and be afraid? When is it going to be enough? When are you going to say enough is enough? I'm done, and I want to make my life something worth living. I'll see you boys later.